Everything about this airplane is big.
We're talking 102-foot wingspan.
You have a problem.
4 Rolls-Royce Merlin engines.
Cover.
This is one of the greatest heavy bombers of World War II.
It was a beautiful plane to fly.
And there are only 2 of these flying in the entire world.
That's a no-go.
This is ultra cool.
And you better not break it.
You have a problem.
You better not break it.
I'm not worried about that.
Between them, 10,300 hours logged in the air. Robert Rooster Riker, Air Force test pilot, 10,000 hours. Mark Miller, wildlife filmmaker, 300 hours. 2 men, 2 very different worlds, 1 love. It's time to kick the tires, light the fires, and get this puppy in the air. They are the Air Dogs. If there's a single World War II aircraft synonymous with victory in Europe, then this is it.
It's just a huge airplane. Obviously, it was a huge contributor during World War II and probably one of the bigger reasons why we came out on the winning end.
Powered by 4 massive Merlins, the same engines that powered Mustangs and Spitfires. The Lancaster was the B-52 of her time, able to carry 20,000 pounds of bombs in 1 run.
I built models of this thing. Friends of our families have been crew members on it in World War II. It's a big honor for me to be able to have this opportunity to get on board this airplane.
More than 7,000 were built, but today in the entire world, there are only 2 that can take to the sky.
It's staggering to think that after all those airplanes were built, there's only 2 of them flying today.
And this is one of them, known as the Mynarski Lancaster. She now lives in the Warplane Heritage Museum. The Air Dogs are about to learn what it took to be a Lancaster pilot.
History tells us that the life expectancy of a crew was 6 missions.
The airplane wasn't built
to last more than 6 weeks.
First lesson, dealing with a reluctant and protective chief pilot and instructor who's been told by his boss to give the boys some flying lessons.
Yeah, that's one thing I should have said we both have.
The first few syllables out of my mouth to the boss were, "Ain't gonna happen." She is quite literally classified as a national treasure. If you've only got one, you don't mess with it.
And they got tons of hours. Yeah. I'm not disappointed. I know that I won't be able to fly this airplane. It's for sure beyond sort of my capability.
So Mark will follow in the footsteps of a young war-era recruit. He'll get checked out on a military biplane trainer.
The PT27 Steerman, big biplane, open cockpit, wind in my face, and fear in my eyes. It should be entertaining.
Mark's instructor is Dave Rohr, head of the museum and a veteran aviator.
He's a retired Air Force fighter pilot, excellent instructor, taught lots and lots of guys to fly, so I think I'm in good hands there.
The goal is to see what direction Mark's flying career might have taken during World War II.
They would stick you in a Stearman. It was almost like a selection aircraft. And they would see what kind of hands and feet you had. Were you a fighter guy? Were you a bomber guy?
He's really recreating for himself the situation that somebody 50, 60 years ago would have found themselves in preparation of training to be a pilot, to go to war.
The Stearman is one of the most mass-produced biplanes in aviation history. Over 8,000 were made for the U.S. Army, Navy, and British Commonwealth Air Training Program.
It's a great trainer. It demands a lot from the pilots who fly it. It's not an easy airplane to fly well. So it'll be a challenge for Mark. Okay, this is the Stearman, up in front. Okay.
On engine start, fuel valve moves to on. Throw rich.
Rich.
Okay. It's very rudimentary. The fuel gauge is basically a tube and then a big wooden stick.
You're going to get in this thing, and right away that's going to be probably one of the things you're going to find a little disturbing initially.
So I can't see out the front.
Can't see.
Serious rudder there.
Nothing happens fast. Okay, but stuff can still happen.
So the Stearman biplane is rolled out for Mark's first hop. The goal is to get all the test points done in one flight. That's if Mark has the right stuff. Mark gives the old girl a thorough walk around and hand cranks the wooden prop to prime the engine.
Don't wear them out before you fly them.
All right, here we go.
Clear prop!
Takeoff 24, check the wind.
Plan is to get Mark used to the feel of the touchy biplane at altitude.
Just follow me through on the controls, Mark, okay?
He's testing me. He's checking to see whether or not I have it together, just as he would have assessed a young pilot in the day.
Mark is put through the paces. Steep turns.
A little bit sloppy here.
Stalls.
You lost 10 knots, get it back. We'll do the high-speed breakaways now.
Mark has his hands full.
I was slow to react, and that created problems.
We'll go back to it again.
It was a new experience for him, so I would say he was behind the power curve.
I had trouble in the steep turn.
Going at 100 feet on that one.
I had trouble recognizing the stall, and I lost a fair amount of altitude.
Bottom line, must show he's comfortable behind the controls.
You better do this right, because I don't want to burn.
If he doesn't have a good feel for the airplane at altitude, it won't get any better as we get closer to the ground.
Down below, Rooster takes in the show.
The big thing about open cockpit airplanes, there's a lot of stuff going on around you, a lot of environmental stuff. You know, wind is blowing, it's noisy.
But for Mark, the real test will be just getting the Stearman safely back on the ground.
Oh, this isn't good. Whoa! Holy mackerel, what the heck was that?
The Air Dogs are traveling back in time, climbing into the cockpits of two very different classic aircraft. Rooster's training on the Lancaster bomber, one of only two left in the world that flies.
I never expected to be able to do this.
Mark is following the path of a World War II pilot recruit in training, being assessed for either fighters, bombers, or failures.
Mark is going to get a chance to become acquainted with this young lady.
Already, Mark's first flight in the 1942 Stearman trainer is not going well.
Oh, this isn't good. Whoa!
The Stearman was designed to land on grass, not on a paved runway, and Mark's struggling with the landing.
The surface is very unforgiving, okay?
Sorry, Dave, that was sloppy.
He was very diplomatic about it.
Not going to do too many more of those, sir. Can't take it.
And then I ended up bouncing it on the runway, and it was like the dolphin show.
Oh, he's flying a little bit too much. He doesn't want to do that.
Mark's making a rookie mistake. He's landing too fast and trying to force the tail down.
That was pretty much every one of the landing irregularities that exist.
Dave, I'm sorry, that was no good.
By carrying too much speed into the landing and forcing the tail down, the angle of attack of the wings changes enough to send the Stearman flying again. Until that speed bleeds off, it's impossible to land.
They're not paying me enough for this job.
Hopefully I didn't scare you too much.
There's still some hard work to be done,
Okay.
so we'll talk a little bit about it.
While Mark has something to think about, Rooster is training to fly the museum's marquee warbird, the Lancaster bomber.
Hi, Don.
Rooster, Don, how you
Nice
doing?
to meet you.
Rooster's instructor is Don Schofield, one of the most experienced Lancaster pilots in the world.
I've been doing it for almost 20 years. I've got well over 600 hours on the airplane.
Even for an experienced pilot like Rooster, the learning curve is steep.
A quick flick of the G-meter.
We wanted to get the feel for how they bring a pilot up. You're feeding only out of one tank.
We're going to do a quick walk around. This aircraft is so different from anything which flies nowadays. And hand prime it. The airplane was built for a singular purpose, to drop bombs.
Each of these bombs are like 500 pounds, right?
She does that very well. The bombs would drop out. There was a war on at the time. Taxiing, landing, and takeoff, etc. They were secondary to her primary role. If she were to be subjected to the scrutiny that is given to any new aircraft, she would not be permitted to fly. She would not be permitted to be manufactured.
Oh, here we go.
Rooster and Don crawl through the cramped fuselage to get to the cockpit and learn about the controls.
All right. That was relatively painless, I guess. And the forward visibility is like...
What forward visibility? On your left wheel and on my right wheel, you see the brake lever. Here, 4 throttles.
Yeah.
4 pitch controls, landing gear up and down. Push this lever in to release the safety, and if you do that right now, I will smack you.
You know what? Just sitting in the thing, it feels like I'm scared.
You might think you're scared. I know I'm scared.
The history of this particular Lancaster begins near the end of World War II.
He came out of the factory in June of '45, just too late to see the war. And as the requirement for aircraft was dwindling, she actually was put straight into storage.
In 1952, the Lanc was dusted off to work as a maritime patrol aircraft. The plane spent the rest of the 50s and early 60s flying over the North American coast and high Arctic.
She has never taken a life, but she has actually saved many.
The Lanc arrived at the museum, and after a full restoration, took to the skies once again in 1988.
I mean, these guys have made a huge effort to ensure that this airplane is out there, and they're actually flying it. I just want to go up and see how the airplane handles. Getting in the airplane, it's really cool. Seeing another 4-engine airplane up close.
Instructor Don Schofield may not show it, but even with Rooster's credentials as a test pilot, he's a little nervous about his baby.
Is Rooster ready?
I would be the same if it was my aircraft and if there's only 2 of them in the world, thinking like I'm dealing with a gorilla here.
After a pre-flight inspection, it's time to get this aviation icon in the air.
Let's go. How cool is this?
The most difficult thing with this airplane is getting it to and from the runway.
Okay, we're rolling. Take over from me.
The trickiest part? Learning to manipulate the throttles and rudder with just the right touch to keep steering under control.
The braking undercarriage system is bizarre, totally unlike anything he has ever seen before. It's an accident waiting to happen.
I'm thinking to myself, man, this is surreal.
Nice job. Quite a handful, eh?
The goal is to get Rooster used to it with some upper air work.
Bring the power up a little, Fox, to 2850, please.
Do an engine shutdown, then come back to the runway to deal with the challenge of landing. But only minutes into the mission, the flight engineer in the back seat notices something is wrong.
Mark here. Take a look at the wings now and the tape, please. Yeah, I'm seeing that.
A cable on the left wing is blown loose behind the engines.
What are your thoughts, Captain? That's a no-go. Heritage 2, Heritage lead. No-go. Heritage 2. It's off the wings.
It's time to knock it off and get the Lancaster back on the ground.
I'm a little disappointed about that. He taped it right on a panel, and that moves a lot, so it's just ripped the tape off. Okay.
But on landing, a much bigger problem develops that sends a death shudder through the cockpit
Holy cow, we got tail wheel shimmy.
and threatens to destroy
Heritage 2, Heritage lead.
the entire airplane.
We have a problem.
The Air Dogs have turned back the clock more than half a century to fly some incredible vintage aircraft. Mark's getting assessed as a World War II trainee in the squirrely Stearman biplane,
Holy mackerel, 40 days that was floppy.
while Rooster relives history with one of the greatest bombers of all time.
This is ultra cool, by the way.
But only 10 minutes into his first flight, the mission is aborted.
That's a no-go. Heritage 2.
Upon landing, another problem. The old Warbird's tail wheel goes into a violent shimmy.
Holy cow, we got tail wheel shimmy. Heritage 2, Heritage lead. You have a problem, Heritage lead.
Lead Lancaster pilot Don Schofield scrambles
Unable.
to keep the plane from sliding off the runway.
Blue loading. Roger, Heritage 2. Tower, Heritage 1. Disabled on the runway for a couple of minutes. We had a rather violent tail wheel shimmy. I'm on my way.
Craig, get hold of Mikey and get on the tail wheel.
Back at the hangar, the crew members know they were lucky.
Did somebody spill a bottle of water on you?
Turns out tail wheel shimmy is a design flaw in the Lanc
We should go look at it.
that destroyed more than its fair share of aircraft during the war.
It just feels like it's gonna rip the back of the plane off. We don't know what causes it, but it is somewhat normal. These things were supposed to run and land on turf and grass during the war.
They're very sensitive to the exact air pressure in that tail wheel.
While the tail wheel is fixed, up on the wing, the flight engineer has a closer look at that loose cable.
It can get stuck in the control surfaces, starts whipping around. You never know what's gonna get attached to, get stuck in, gears, flaps. It's not worth the risk.
Meanwhile, after some trouble landing the Stearman,
Where's that Mark Miller? I don't want to burn.
Mark hopes to get another shot to prove he has what it takes to be a World War II trainee.
It's hard to be good in an airplane that you've only flown for an hour.
The learning curve on this airplane is extremely steep. They were maybe given 10 to 12 hours, and if they didn't achieve solo in those times, they were gone.
So before Mark flies again, Rooster and Dave must review his performance.
Control was a little sloppy on the way out. He wasn't anticipating rolling through 30 degrees of bank, having to add power.
This is a standard pose for him after one of these flights.
In the end, they decide Mark deserves a second chance in the Stearman.
It wasn't that bad, brother.
This time, Mark's determined not to let the Stearman school him.
We had a little chat, pumped him up a little bit, and we threw him back in the airplane, and now he's out there flying again.
But winds are picking up.
Left crosswind now.
Mark's got to deal with a 10-mile-an-hour crosswind.
Share speed.
Finally, Mark starts to get the hang of it.
Nice control. You're doing a good job. Are you having fun?
And for the final test, that always tricky landing.
He wants to fly the airplane onto the runway, just slowly reduce the power and let the tail come down. He did it.
I don't know if I greased the landings, but I didn't bounce them, and I was getting on.
Oh, what's that landing? Oh, it's very nice.
Once on the ground, this air dog's mood is much improved.
Is it terrifying?
Nope.
That wasn't bad, eh?
And that was a world of difference. It was a challenging day, and I did quite a bit better. I managed the power a lot better.
He really caught on quick on the second trip, and he got it.
But Mark still has to wait to see what'll happen to his flying career.
You know, had this been 1942, he would have gone to the Harvard and probably gone into the fighter stream. Mark Miller, World War II fighter pilot. Now, who would have thought, eh?
As for Rooster, he's about to go wheels up again in the mighty Lancaster. And this time he hopes nothing cuts his flight short. It's early morning, and the Air Dogs are up for one last historic flight.
Flying a World War II airplane, huge history.
Rooster will get to fly the Lancaster one more time.
I have to take a moment to sit back and realize what the heck I'm doing.
But before Rooster takes to the skies, the Air Dogs meet a former Lancaster pilot,
There he is.
Dr. Bob Hanna.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Hanna.
Brings back very vivid memory. It was a beautiful plane to fly.
How many hours did you fly in the Lancasters?
About 350.
Bob flew 28 trips during the Second World War. On his 15th mission, Bob's crew was sent into the heart of Nazi Germany, where his aircraft was suddenly hit by ground fire.
It was a tremendous bang. A piece of shrapnel took part of the tip off the wing, and it took off one of the blades of the propeller.
Battered and low on fuel, Hanna's Lancaster barely made it back to England.
That was a hair-raising trip, but they all weren't that bad. Thank God.
It's something for Rooster to think about as he climbs back into the cockpit of the classic bomber.
Cool. Here we go. There's no turning back now.
And once the mighty Merlins are flashed up, the big Lanc taxis out.
Brake pressures are good. Rad shutters. Leave them open. Heritage lead, roll now. And Heritage 1 copy roll.
After Don gets it into the air,
Gears up.
he hands over the controls to Rooster for some upper air work.
Your airplane, boss. This is all. Hi, Haskins.
During the flight, the aircraft is put into a stall to see how she handles.
90. 80. Recover.
The airplane was actually quite easy to fly.
Very nice. Like a pussycat. There's a papa wing.
It was awesome and way different than what I expected, but it still was quite challenging.
Number 2 engine to idle, please. You're moving to idle.
Then they shut down one of the aircraft's 4 engines to give Rooster a feel.
I have number 2 moving in.
Only problem is, Rooster accidentally restarts the prop before he was supposed to, and nearly causes some engine damage.
I pushed the button in and just kind of held it because that's what we do in other aircraft, and it popped back out, causing the prop to spin back up again.
Put all the way in and leave it. Won't stay in, guys. Won't better normally.
We caught it right away, though. It's no big deal. So stop what you're doing, get your composure, and do it again.
Okay, looks good now. Stop.
Next, they cycle the big bomb bay doors to see how that affects handling.
He was blown away by it because we covered a huge amount in an incredibly condensed, very short period of time. And he was obviously appropriately sweaty at the end of it.
Before the flight is over, Rooster flies low approaches over the airfield to let everyone hear the amazing Merlin's purr.
He flew 2 approaches to the runway, which were absolutely flawless.
Very nice. Funny old airplane, isn't it?
The Lancaster was famous for eating up a lot of runway and overtaxing the pilot on touchdown. So as per the plan, Rooster lets Dawn take the controls to land.
The workload increases about 400 to 500%.
Up, more power.
The Lanc touches down. Thankfully this time, no wobbly tail wheel.
He treated her well, and she returned the favor.
How was it, Rooster? It was awesome. I'll be down in a second. I gotta take a bath.
Good flying, man.
Thanks a lot, Don.
It was a pleasure.
All jokes aside, Rooster proved he could handle the big warbird.
Did he rattle you a little bit?
He's a keeper. Can't say too many nice things about him.
Yeah, don't be too nice.
It's a thrill of a lifetime for this air dog.
Welcome to the Lanc fraternity.
It was a really cool day. Good aviation day.
And there are not a lot of guys in the world that can say they got to do that. I mean, to live history is a privilege.
More memorable flights in the logbook for Mark and Rooster.
It was hot, it was noisy, and you can really imagine what life might have been like flying over Europe.
I want to come back here and fly. I'll start at the bottom. I'll sweep floors. I don't care.
And for the museum, they'd like to keep this Lancaster flying for decades to come. That means training new pilots to keep history aloft.
We got to keep this stuff alive, and you got to wonder who's going to fly this stuff when this generation is gone. You know, maybe guys like Rooster.
Sounds like a great job for an air dog.